Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vanillaraccoon and welcome to the Ripple Effect server. Now before we begin some heavy building, I want to take a moment to just thank you ever so much for showing such strong support on the previous episode. Shortly after it was released, I was on my way to Minefair, and by the time I had returned home, I had seen that it received an impressive amount of views along with an impressive amount of likes, and I even had the chance to sit down and read some insanely cool comments. Which brings me to the very first thing that I just want to quickly touch on. One of the insanely cool comments had mentioned what this person uses in regards of choice of blocks for their dirt pathways, and I decided that when I am next available to, I'm going to take most if not all of that person's specific choice of blocks, and I'm just gonna sprinkle them in and around the current pathway that we have here. Another insanely cool comment that I read was that someone was agreeing with me in that taking inspiration from the Star Wars universe is a pretty solid idea, and that at least comforts me in knowing that someone else, like I said, agrees with me that that's a pretty solid thing to do. Now, when I say that we're going to be doing some heavy building in this episode, what I mean is pretty much right from where that double chest is at, just across the riverbed, going all the way around this curve and up to this point in the hillside right there is where we're going to be establishing a few new structures. And believe me when I say this, when I say a few, I probably mean something like 3 to 5, which technically then isn't a few. At least that's how I'm beginning to see it now that I hear myself say it out loud. But with that all being said, I hope you have a fizzy beverage along with a healthy snack at the ready to consume, and let's begin this Let's Play. Now before we begin to get our build on, first we must become a little more familiar with the surrounding land that we're going to be working with, and so as I continue to walk around this area just a little bit more off camera, I kept passing by this narrow little opening, and with each pass by, I just couldn't help but envision a small stream, and so I went ahead and laid one out. Now, of course, I wouldn't be able to just make one appear out of thin air without just doing a little detailing, and so wherever we have the cobblestone sitting at, that is to act as a little bit of erosion that is going on nearby. Now, as you can tell, the stream is beginning to freeze up, and I've tried numerous ways to prevent this from happening. The first method was by taking torches and placing them down like what you see right here, but that was to no avail. My second method was to take jack-o'-lanterns and place them down, and yet again that did not work out. And so my third and final attempt that I have for now at least is to take glowstone blocks, sit them within the stream's floor, and well, I mean, it appears to be working slightly. I'm not entirely sure. So I guess peeps, this is me asking you for a little bit of help yet again. If you know how to resolve this issue and having our stream freezing up, feel free to let me know what I can do to prevent this from happening any farther by letting me know down below in the comment section. So let's go ahead and take a look now at what we're gonna be working with. So I began to carve out this space right here, so we can establish the first of 3 structures that we're going to be building in this episode. Quick disclaimer, when I say building 3 structures, I do not mean we're going to create an outline, fill in the walls, lay down the roof, and then do the interior design. What I am most likely going to do in this episode is begin to get my build on, but we're at least going to have the frame of each of these builds and the walls filled out. Maybe not so much the roofs, because in my test world I have yet to figure out how I want the roofs to look within this village to be. So with that out of the way, at least, like I said, I had begun to carve out this space right here, and we're going to lay down our first structure. The pathway is going to then descend down this hillside, and then right in this little corner tucked away, we're going to have our second structure. And at least upon the recording of this video, I cannot really go into full detail as to what purpose it's going to serve. All I can say at least is it's going to be a little bit spooky, and hopefully those who come by and check out what we've done here will at least give it a thumbs up. So then we're going to have our pathway lead all the way around through here into this nice big open space. Now, I could, in theory, plant a few forest trees, and with time and patience and are willing to work with it, wait for it to grow up to become a happy little tree, but I don't want that to become too repetitive. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to utilize this big open space to lay down a medium to large in size structure. Now, as I begin to get my build on, I'm going to try to remember to bring it back for a few progress updates, but seeing as how I'm beginning to become pressed for time with recording this video, I think I'm probably just going to begin to get my build on after recording this segment, and then bring it back when I have at least this structure, like I said, the outline, the frame, all that jazz fully established, and then I'm beginning to work on this one. So I can give you a recap for this one, give you the work in progress for this, and then repeat that once more. So once this build is fully completed, and then this one has begun to be worked on, then I'll bring it back for a recap and then progress update. Does that sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a plan. Allow me to go ahead and begin to get my build on, peeps, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. It was starting to get a little cold outside, so I thought I would quickly seek shelter within the structure and sit by the fire pit, so that way I could begin to warm myself up, and then when ready to resume getting my build on. However, we're not sitting within any ordinary structure. No. We are actually sitting within the very first structure that we're going to be establishing in this episode. And if we just quickly take a step back without falling down the hillside here, maybe we'll just sneak away so that way we can be in the clear from it. We'll see that it is a small gazebo. Now, I did some thinking, and the lore / story that we're going to give this small build is that this village is going to have only one leader, or maybe if some of the people are taken back or baffled by the word leader, then perhaps the phrase that is from AA, trusted servant, could be used. And I see a little pumpkin. Let's just quickly pick you up because I actually need quite a few of these. Oh, nope, don't want to put you on my head. There we go. So yes, maybe if the word leader baffles a few people or is a little off-putting to those within the village, then they can at least see this one individual as a trusted servant, which is a phrase from AA. Now, this person, when he thinks he needs to take some time to meditate about something, whether it is in regards to the village or maybe for his own personal things, he can just quickly seek shelter within the small gazebo. And then, like I said, he has a little fire pit that he can sit next to, warm himself up, so that way he's not just sitting there shivering whilst trying to think. But of course, this isn't just for the leader / trusted servant. This is also open to the general public as well, in the event that they need a place to just quickly stop at and warm themselves up, or maybe even they want to take advantage of the nice warm cozy atmosphere within it and just sit down and think about things, whether it pertains to the village or their own lives. Now, this little pathway is going to descend down through here, and like I said, we're going to have a small structure tucked away within this corner, and as you can tell, at least it's a pretty tall structure. This is going to be 3 stories tall, and it's also going to have a basement. Now, how we're going to get to the basement, I don't really know how we're going to do that quite yet, to be honest, but in due time I'll figure it out. So if you haven't already, then I guess you're going to have to hit the like button and also subscribe, but slap the bell whilst you're at it, so that way you then know how we're going to be able to get to and from the basement for the second structure right here. Lastly, we're going to have this structure, and it's only going to be 2 stories tall. And as you may be able to tell based off of this right here at least, we're going to have a small stairwell in this corner that's going to lead up to the 2nd floor. And then right here, we will have a doorway that will take us out onto the patio. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail as to what purpose this build is going to serve, but in the next segment at least, I'll be sure to review that for you, and then also we'll be able to possibly do some interior decorating for this build, but not so much for this one over here. So as it begins to be dusk, I think that's my cue to go ahead and resume to get my build on. So let me go ahead and take care of that, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Well, a few cycles have passed, and I think it's about time to wrap things up for this video. If it ends up being shorter than usual, I would like to apologize for that. Ideally, I want to keep these Minecraft Let's Plays roughly between 12 to 15 minutes long, maybe 18 depending on what's going on within it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and begin to take a look as to what we have for the end result. Now, by no means is this how I envisioned this section of the village to look, but if you've built with me before, then you know that that is never a bad thing. You can either take one or few lessons learned from this, or you can simply sit back and be truly impressed by the end result, and also keep in mind the hard work it took to make this happen. Now, in the comment section of the previous video, Clickbait, very nice name by the way, buddy, had provided a list of their choice of blocks that they use when composing a dirt pathway. And as you may be able to tell, it composes of coarse dirt block, brown concrete powder, podzol, and this person may have even listed the pathed grass block. I'm not entirely sure what this is called off the top of my head, but we're just going to call it that for now. Do correct me down below in the comment section if I got that name wrong, so I can try to remember it for future use. But also, we have, like I said, a tall structure that's going to be sitting in this corner. Now, I'm not going to be able to finish this, like I said in the previous segment, in this episode. We're most likely going to work on this in the next, and then also we're going to make this place look just a little bit more super spoopy since Halloween is just around the corner. But this is going to be our little storage unit for this section of the village. We're going to have our signature minecart with chests just placed within this room. In the event that maybe we want to relocate some of our content here, then we can just quickly pop out the block behind the minecart with chests, lay down some rails, and away it'll go. And then that way we don't have to worry about searching far and wide for a llama or few to bring back and be our mobile storage unit. So I think at this point now, that's going to do it. Oh, there's one more thing that I just want to briefly touch on. I discussed this in my most recent Mixer live stream, and that is I have a new upload schedule that at this point in time I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to live up to as the autumn progresses and we move into the winter, and that is going to be Mondays I will upload a new Ripple Effect video. On Tuesdays you'll get a new Starbound collaborative Let's Play with Uncle Zloy XP, and then on Wednesdays you'll get a new Pokemon Go video. Thursdays, that's going to be my designated stream day, so beginning maybe 1 p.m, maybe more close to 2 p.m. now that I think about it. Around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I will begin to live stream. I'll usually stream for about an hour and a half, and around that mark is when my voice begins to get a little raspy, and I don't want to hurt your ears by talking and sounding like I got a frog in my throat or something like that. And then Fridays will be a second upload for the week for Starbound, a collaborative Let's Play with Uncle Zloy XP. But that's going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to drop a like. And if you are new to the channel, then I invite you to check out the rest of it. But do not forget to turn on notifications when subscribing. That way you will then be notified when future Minecraft and other gameplay content is uploaded by yours truly, Vanillaraccoon. I would like to wish you a happy day, and peace out.